Hello, everybody, and welcome to the live stream. The Burning Hammer boys are in the building, and what we're going to do today is talk about what happened on Monday Night Raw. Plus, we're going to take a look at what to expect heading into AEW Dynamite tonight. So, before we get started, make sure to follow The Burning Hammer on our social media. On Twitter, we are at The Burnt Hammer. On Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, we are at The Burning Hammer. Plus, you can listen to the Burning Hammer podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Plus, make sure to follow Vendetta Sports Media on their socials as well. Me and Dillon write for them. We cover professional wrestling. So you can follow them on Twitter at Vendetta VSM, and you can follow them on Instagram and TikTok at Vendetta Sports Media. Plus, be sure to check out vendettasportsmedia.com for all of your sports needs, plus TV, movies, and gaming. You name it, they cover it. Head over to vendettasportsmedia.com. Now, let's talk about some things that happened on Monday Night Raw, because it was a pretty solid episode. Before we dive into a few of the big things, I'm going to run through the results really quick. So, Seth Rollins won his world title triple threat match. Mustafa Ali defeated Otis. Finn Balor won his triple threat match for the world title tournament. Rhea Ripley defeated Dana Brooke, which was a non-title match. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defeated Imperium. Zoe Stark made her main roster debut and defeated Nikki Cross. Dominic Mysterio defeated Xavier Woods, and Seth Rollins beat Finn Balor to head on to Night of Champions to wrestle for the World Heavyweight Championship. So, Dillon, what are your overall thoughts about this episode of Monday Night Raw?
Yeah, so overall, a really fun episode of Raw, from start to finish, I will say. The tournament, and I will say it's definitely largely in part because of the world title tournament, but I was pretty locked in on this episode of Raw from start to finish, which was a nice change. Even in the Triple H era, it's really hard to fill up a 3-hour show. So it was nice that I really didn't get too bored at all throughout this show. Even some of the shorter segments and the filler segments I felt like weren't completely pointless, or you know what I mean? And everything kind of served a purpose on this episode of Raw, which is nice. It didn't seem like there was anything there just kind of for no reason. It was some stuff besides the tournament that I liked about this episode of Raw. I really liked the Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville segments that we were getting, trying to get their petition to get their rematch for the titles. They're matching as well, so it looks like they might be, kind of be getting pushed forward as a team, hopefully, which I'm all for. I think Sonya Deville, it was like, it's kind of a shame because Chelsea Green and Carmella seemed like they were going to be perfect together. And then, I mean, I don't want to say a shame because Carmella is now pregnant and that's the reason she's out. And amazing news for her and Corey Graves.
Congrats, Carmella.
Yeah, congrats to Carmella and Corey Graves on the expectation of a child. And so we learned that that's kind of why she's out. But I almost, as much as I do think that Carmella and the Chelsea Green team would have worked, I almost feel like it's a blessing in disguise, because I feel like we might be on to something really, really intriguing here with the team of Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green, in my opinion.
They seem like their duo. I think they're great.
It seems like they could be
each other really well.
Agreed. I think they could be a very interesting duo moving forward. And which is nice because now I will say it's yet to, we haven't, listen, it's one episode of Raw, and this is kind of outside looking in, and it's like when you're looking for something, it's a little easier to find it. But dare I say Triple H is putting a little bit more effort into this women's tag team division?
Maybe.
Because it seemed like we had now I don't necessarily love the idea of like when they make a title match that is going to be scheduled for after a title match that is already scheduled. Like how they have like Chelsea and Sonya are going to take on the winners of Liv and Raquel versus Damage Control on SmackDown. I don't necessarily love when they do that, especially because it seems pretty unpredictable and unlikely that they're going to do heel versus heel for the women's tag team titles. With that being said, it's just like I said, it seems like Triple H could have been planting the seeds at kind of taking this women's tag team division a little more seriously. We had Chelsea and Sonya being kind of billed and presented as a real team. Same with Liv and Raquel, which I don't necessarily think the team's going to last super long. I do think they've done a decent job at appearing as a team. Like, I think they've done the best they can because they're not a team. They're two single stars that got put together. And we're like, we're going to give you the tag team titles as transitional champions, basically. Like, pretty much seems like that's what we're at, where we're at. But with that being said, like, they've been putting in effort at like matching their ring gear and, you know, kind of making it come across as if, you know, they are putting a lot of effort and thought into the team. We have, it looks like Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae could even possibly be a team in the women's tag team division. And then we have Shayna and Ronda are expecting to come back. And then of course we have what's her they got the NXT teams that got called up. Why am I drawing a blank?
Oh, Isla Dawn and Alba Fire.
Yeah, and Alba Fire, and then who was it? Caden Carter, right? And Katana Chance.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like, I will say it's very early, and it's like from the outside looking in, it seems like the seeds could be getting planted to kind of have a little bit better women's tag team division moving forward, which was awesome. Which looks awesome. Which will be awesome. So hopefully, like I said, very small sample size, and you can definitely not watch that episode and be like, oh wow, the women's tag team division is here. But you, especially as someone who watches on a weekly basis, compared to what we've seen in recent, like if you're really paying attention, it seems to me as if the seeds could be planted for a real women's tag team division, rather than just having two women's tag teams on TV at all time because you need two in a title feud. Like that's literally like it seems like we've only had two at a time, and it's because there needs to be two in a feud.
And what I liked about with Sonya and Chelsea's segment was like they wanted the titles, like they wanted their rematch. That was the thing for me, was it wasn't just like people are sort of randomly like put together and then they kind of just like both want to take down the people. Like Sonya and Chelsea want the tag titles. So I think that's a nice little touch. And they have the talent. They have the teams to be able to put some effort and thought into this women's tag team division. Now, if they're going to do that, who knows? But I think we are definitely maybe on the right track to start.
Like I said, it's nothing huge, but this, especially compared to where we've been with this women's tag team division, it seems like the seeds have been planted for it to be a lot better moving forward. If that is executed, we will see. But the other thing I did want to mention, besides the women's tag division, I knew there was something else about this episode of Raw. Imperium versus Ko and Sammy. Gunther was not on this episode of Raw, but they might have mentioned his name more than they mentioned anybody else's name on the entire show. They literally said Gunther's name so many times. And if that doesn't tell you something, then I don't know what's going to tell you something, because Gunther is obviously going to be a big part of Monday Night Raw moving forward. Big part of WWE.
They mentioned Gunther's name in like the same essence that they mentioned Roman Reigns' name.
Yeah, it was like, it was
arriving next week. Like Imperium doesn't want to like have him come and they lose, and they need to like explain why they lost. So I mean, Gunther's up next, man.
Yeah, dude. And
great match
so,
too.
Yeah, great match. So nice to see that it appears that Ko and Sammy are done with the Usos. They did not mention the Usos at all. It just seemed it was just Imperium. So it seems like Ko and Sammy are done with the Usos. The Usos are now on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Feels like we're done there, which is nice. And I honestly think Solo getting a pin on Riddle is a fine way to end that feud.
Yeah,
that's fine. Like
it's how they had to do it.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So I'm just happy that that's what we got. And also, what a great segment. Ko and Sammy. I know it feels like we might not get a super long tag title run from them too, just because of how valuable they are to the roster as singles competitors. But God, it would be so fun to get a nice long run with them too.
And like
they're so fun.
Yeah, but I mean, also just like the fact that they have such a rich history of turning on each other. That's the other thing.
Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna do it where they're gonna have like a super long title reign. I think they could, but I think they need to figure out the tag title situation. And do you think that Sammy will turn on KO or KO will turn on Sammy?
So I'm hoping that Sammy turns on KO because it's always KO turning on Sammy.
Yeah.
It's literally been KO turning on Sammy every time. So hopefully we get Sammy turning on KO, which would be cool.
Now, I would like for them to come out maybe to a new theme together.
No, that's what what I was going to bring up next. That's got to be in discussion if it's not already. They got it.
I think
it's because Worlds Apart is so over, and it's because they love that. Maybe they should just come out to Worlds
theme too.
Yeah, they both do. That's why I almost think and it doesn't make sense. And KO doesn't fit Worlds Apart doesn't fit KO.
Yeah, maybe they could do like a mashup.
Ooh, that would be fun. The fucking. I don't know.
Well, so what I think could be why they won't or haven't given them a new theme yet is because of what you said. Maybe they don't plan on having them be a tag team for long. They're not going to give them a new theme if they're going to be a tag team for another 2 months or so. So it's definitely something to keep in mind, but I think it's probably likely that they just both have such awesome themes, and Sammy's is such an over theme right now that they don't want to really take that away.
Yeah, and I also feel bad too because it's always just Sammy always getting the pin so they can play Worlds Apart.
Yeah,
and it's I don't know, it's just weird. I think it would be a good idea if they came out to a theme song together. They've got matching gear now, they, you know what I mean? They might as well. They're the tag champs.
Yeah,
might as well come out to the same song. But either way, and I will say this, I'm not necessarily 100%. I don't need to have the KO versus Sammy feud. I don't need it. I don't think we need it.
I mean,
we've gotten it 100 times
every time.
But I just think a proper run with them as tag team champions would just be more fun.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think
I'm not saying they got to hold it till next Mania. I want them to hold it till at least SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think SummerSlam would be a good time for them to drop the titles. And we talked about it on the podcast, but maybe a little DIY reunion.
Or Imperium.
Yeah, so, and we've been talking about DIY for Sammy and KO for months now, and now it's people are really starting to catch on, so that's why you got to stay up to date with the Burning Hammer boys, because we know what's going on. And Gargano mentions, he teased a little Ciampa return too.
Yeah, he's coming back soon. That's what he said.
So
wasn't Ciampa wasn't in the way though?
No.
That was the only thing that kind of threw me. It was Ciampa wasn't in the way.
He's either talking about Ciampa or Theory, and Theory's on SmackDown, and he's
right. So it's got to be Ciampa.
No, And so it looks like we have a new number one contender for the SmackDown / Raw Women's Championship in Natalya. You think they're probably going to do that at Night of Champions?
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Based off what we saw yesterday, which is it's like no hate on Natty at all. Great worker. It's just like I don't know.
I don't mind it.
Bro,
Because
we
it's
just
it's just a filler to get us past Night of Champions. So it's like if you're gonna do that, then I don't mind giving Rhea a win over a veteran like Natalya.
yeah, no, I don't hate it. And Night of Champions, and you only have a few weeks before Night of Champions. It's not like you
Yeah.
have very long.
Yeah, it's like probably under.
So Natalya's Natalya's definitely one of the people that you can throw in there and like trust her to go out and put on a good match. And
yeah, agreed.
So yeah, I don't hate it by any means. I feel I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with the women's titles because they didn't mention it like at all. The fact that it was weird that that Rhea is the SmackDown Women's Champion on Raw. I'm thinking, they're gonna address it though. They can't just not.
Yeah,
So,
probably at Night of Champions.
That's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing,
but it's also weird that they just like haven't even really talked about it yet.
That's what I'm saying. They haven't even really like mentioned it.
So,
yeah. I mean, they obviously have to. I'm assuming. Listen, if they were gonna trade, they would have done it. That's my take.
Well, that was I mean, maybe not yet because that was only the first episode where like the draft was in effect. Was Raw this week, so we haven't had the first episode of SmackDown post draft. So I still think potentially there's time for them to swap, but I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know.
Hopefully they just redesign them. That's
yeah.
And Bianca's already the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion, so like, she's the longest reigning Women's Champion of the modern era. So like,
yep.
So she doesn't.
That's what I think. That's also why
they were waiting.
Well, yeah, but I also think they are going now. I think they're going to go away from the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champions.
Yeah, me too.
Like names of the belts because they are acknowledging her as the longest reigning women's champion of the modern era. Like,
yeah.
If they weren't going to change the names, they wouldn't have really just said that. They would have just kept referring to her as the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion.
Yeah, so. Just have the Women's World Champion on Raw and the WWE Women's Champion on SmackDown.
What do you think they're going to do? What do you think the match is for Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam? Because I'm trying to figure out, and I'm probably going to publish an article this week about early match card predictions for SummerSlam because I think we're getting Bianca versus Charlotte. And I'm not sure what they're doing with Rhea at SummerSlam. My only guess is Becky. Because I know on the podcast, we were talking about Becky versus Trish at SummerSlam. But it's also, I feel like they're going to do that potentially at Night of Champions. And they also
might do Raquel.
They could. Because we have...
I think that's what they're going to do. I think it's going to be Rhea versus Raquel.
Do you think they're going to do Becky versus Trish at SummerSlam?
They might.
Because we still have like 3 months until SummerSlam. So it's like... And Becky just returned on this episode as well.
Yeah, it feels like we're going to get that at Night of Champions, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's what I think. But it's also like they already have a lot of matches on the card.
Yeah.
Even without the tag titles. So I don't know. It'll be
interesting. Yeah. I think my prediction is going to be Raquel though. Raquel versus Rhea for SummerSlam.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. So let's talk about the World Heavyweight Championship tournament
Mhm.
because um I thought this was a blast, and
Yeah.
I'm happy they did Seth versus Finn. I freaked out when Seth did the buckle bomb into the barricade.
Oh, when Finn did it to Seth, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, as payback
yeah.
for the
He
separated
was like, "How
shoulder or
does it
whatever it was.
feel?"
Yeah. Dude, I love Finn.
Yeah,
I
he's
am
the
such
man.
a big Finn Balor guy. It was weird. Like I didn't know how I felt about the Judgment Day Finn Balor at first, and he has over the last few months he has really like grown into this character.
Yeah,
It's dude, he's so funny, but I swear Finn is really good at being able to be funny, but also like be able to take him seriously. Um, like anytime they're booing Dom and Finn just breaking out the "Let him speak, let him speak." He does
yeah,
it every time, and it's so funny.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
great,
So
man.
that was something else that I wanted to talk about too on this episode of Raw was the crowd was bad. I don't know what it
Oh,
was.
awful crowd.
They had to pump in fake crowd noise
Yeah,
apparently per reports.
you could hear it.
Yeah, and you could tell watching it. I was just like, dude,
You couldn't even hear Brock Lesnar talk because over the fake booze.
yeah. And I
I was like,
thought
what is
they were
going
like
on right
super
now?
quiet too, um, because it was during the tag match, which was a really good match, and they just were not giving them anything. And I was like, dude, what is wrong with this crowd?
Especially compared to the Puerto Rico crowd, which is like probably the hottest crowd we've gotten in like however long, bro.
It
I
is
mean, it's definitely the
probably
hottest crowd since Clash at the Castle, and
I'd say it was hotter than that. I think
I
that
think so
may have
too.
been the hottest crowd I have ever seen in my wrestling life.
I didn't want to say that because I didn't want to go that far, but it really might
I
have
will
been.
go
It
that
was
far.
no, no. I was
I
saying
don't
I
care.
just, but I can't think of one notably that I can put more. The Clash at the Castle crowd was really awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
But I mean, dude, when Bad Bunny came out, everyone
dude,
was that's probably an all-time pop. I don't give
bro, it's an all-time entrance. That is a top
it was
time.
sick.
That is a top 10 entrance of all time.
Yeah.
I swear to God, bro, and him taking off the thing with the to reveal the shopping cart full of weapons too,
Yeah.
dude.
That
Like
was awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah,
like,
I
dude,
mean,
that's what I was saying. I don't speak Spanish at all. I don't know any of the words. I was like, ah, da,
I know.
ah,
I
da,
know.
da, 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 da. Bro, it was like,
Exactly, man.
oh, man. Bro, this shit was awesome. And it was crazy because I was with you, like going into the match. I was like, um, beforehand, I kind of felt like, oh, Damien, it made more sense for Damian Priest to pick up the win. But like it was like literally while Bad Bunny was entering, I was like, I don't know if Bad Bunny can lose, bro.
Well,
It's like,
that was the thing too, because I know I like published a video that, and I said Damian Priest needs to win the match, but then literally like a day or two after it, I just instantly regretted it.
yeah,
So I was definitely wrong for that. But like you said, I wasn't able to watch SmackDown, so I didn't see
bro.
the
Like
crowd's reaction. But I
the
know it was like
WWE needs to
insane.
do whatever they can to like get Bad Bunny on the roster in some form of part-time structure, which it's like it kind of seems like that's kind of what he is. Like he's like a step below the Logan Paul thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's like not quite as active as Logan Paul, but he's there, but it's like he has way more fucking passion for it than Logan Paul does. You fucking see it. Like, dude, this was like, I guarantee you that was probably the best moment of Bad Bunny's life.
he said it. He said I don't remember what interview it was, but he literally
No,
said
it was a James Corden interview where he said the best moment of his life was WrestleMania, like when he got
yeah.
to wrestle at WrestleMania.
So like, and that's what
I
I was
guarantee
saying,
that was better.
dude. That's what I was saying. I said it on the stream where I talked about Backlash on Monday, but like, Bad Bunny doesn't need to be doing this. Like anytime we see celebrities or these social media influencers do this, it's because they're trying to promote something or gain a following. Like Bad Bunny's bigger than the WWE. He only does this because he absolutely loves professional wrestling. And you can tell because he's putting in the work. And he's the only one that, I don't know if he's the only one that's allowed to, but he's the only one that hits a Canadian destroyer in the company.
Yeah.
Like, which
Bro.
is insane. No one's really talks about that.
He also just like, dude, he's the GOAT celebrity wrestler. Like he is no one is on his level. And it's because, bro, it's like Bad Bunny makes you feel something, bro.
Yeah.
Like Bad Bunny, like that's what I mean. Like Logan Paul is an extremely gifted athlete, and he's like, but Logan Paul's matches, as impressive as they have been, it's they work. The Logan Paul matches work on a spot to spot basis. Like the Logan Paul matches go, all right. Like the Logan Paul matches go, fill up time, get to this spot, fill up some more time, get to this spot, fill up some more time, get to this spot, then the match is over. To whereas Bad Bunny's, it was the entire match. It was like every single thing. It's like the Logan Paul matches, as athletic and as crazy as some of the spots he hits were, it's like, oh, it's almost for most of the Logan Paul match, you can sit there on your phone and then go, oh shit, something crazy's about to happen. And then you can watch it happen, and then you go, oh shit. And then you can look back down at your phone. The Bad Bunny match, you just need to be in it the whole time. And it's like, dude, when he sells, he sells like great. He's a great seller. When he feel like, dude, it's like him grabbing the ropes and pulling himself up, just doing anything he can to like, wow, he just loves it. You can tell how much passion he has for it. I saw there were reports and rumors that WWE is confident they're going to be able to get him involved in SummerSlam in some sort of way. Do whatever you have to do to just get him involved in the company on a regular basis moving forward. Yeah. Obviously, you can't have the biggest artist in the world on your show on a weekly basis, but obviously he is interested in being involved regularly. Like,
agreed.
So do what you got to do.
Yeah. I mean, what a guy. What a performer. I mean, like you said, the energy in that place was unreal. Like, I could not believe when I was like watching it, and I was just like getting goosebumps.
Bro, for real.
Dancing a little bit. And I was just like, bro, this is going to be insane. And it was awesome. So let's talk about Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar, and then we'll move on to Dynamite. So we were trying to figure out what was going to happen with this triple threat match because we didn't think Cody was going to win. And so we were trying to figure out what's going to happen. And then he got attacked in the match by Brock Lesnar.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
In a very interesting little promo from him after he destroyed Cody. So what were your thoughts about his promo as a whole?
Bro. So it's like his intensity and his like, I loved all of it. What he said kind of made no fucking sense. It seemed like he forgot what he wanted to say. So he just kept repeating, I want to fight, and look at this face. And like, it was intense and it was scary for sure. It didn't really seem like he knew what he wanted to say, though. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, though. I'll cut him some slack, just since he was fucking scary and intense. And also, the reports were that it was like Brock's idea. That Brock was like, it was all Brock's idea. Like, fuck up my face. I want my face to be visibly messed up. So the next day when I come out and I attack you, my face is visibly messed up. Great. Yeah. What a genius idea. Like, so smart. God.
Dude,
he was pretty scary. They're probably going to do a street fight or something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking like a street fight or maybe like a steel cage match.
Yeah. He just kept saying fight. That's why I was like street.
That was the thing I took away too.
Yeah.
But like when he grabbed the camera and was like, "Look at this face," I was like, "Oh
Bro,
my god, we're gonna get the best promo of Brock Lesnar's career."
Yeah.
And then he was just like, "What do you want to talk about, Cody? Cody, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? Look at my face." And I was just like, "All right, man. I get it. Like, I like the intensity." But like you said, it was kind of just like he was just like after the first 2 times, he's like, "Shit, what was I supposed to say next?"
Yeah.
He's just like, "Oh, whatever. I'll just keep repeating it." And it was fine. I mean, I thought it was pretty good.
It was intense. It was scary.
It was very intense, and it was scary as hell.
It was the best out of this Cody and Brock thing that we've gotten. For sure. So
yeah, and I liked Cody's little segment.
Yeah, totally.
That too. So yeah, I mean, great stuff. It's going to be interesting to see what they do at Night of Champions because the match is confirmed, but they haven't announced any stipulations yet. So we'll have to see. But let's move on to AEW Dynamite. So we've got a double Jeopardy match between Claudio Castagnoli and Rey Fenix. Rey Fenix is one half of the ROH Tag Champs. And Claudio, wait a second. Actually, I think I may have messed that up.
No, you got it.
What titles do they have? They both have titles, right?
Claudio is the ROH champ.
Oh, dang. He's still the ROH champ?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all right. That's what confused me. I don't know who I thought was the champ, but yeah, Rey Fenix is one half of the tag team champs. Claudio is the ROH world champ. I don't know what a double Jeopardy match is.
Me either.
It's probably nothing. They probably just wanted a fancied name for it. You've got a no holds barred match against Anna JAS versus Julia Hart. Then you have the AEW World Trios title match, which is the House of Black is taking on Bandito and Best Friends. They're sort of doing a new thing with the AEW Trios belts. I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. I think it's interesting. They sort of adjusted the rules for them when they're defending the titles. I haven't seen yet, but it sounded like they got new titles, but I didn't like see them announce anything because in their one segment where they announced it, they sort of just like threw down the AEW Trios titles and then they sort of just like had other titles. So I wasn't able to figure out if they actually got new titles or not, but that match is going to be pretty insane. And then you've got the AEW International title match, which is Orange Cassidy against Daniel Garcia. Again, that's going to be a great match. Very much a contrast of styles, but Orange Cassidy has proven that he can actually wrestle when he feels like it. And then in the main event, probably the best thing AEW is doing currently, we have Kenny Omega taking on Jon Moxley in a steel cage match. This one is going to be absolutely nuts. The work between the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club has been pretty damn good. So I am super excited for that match. And how long? What's the over-under in time until Moxley leads?
6 minutes.
It's not bad. I think the first time he gets thrown into the cage,
he will bleed.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so let us know what's your excitement level for Dynamite. That's pretty much going to wrap up the live stream. Like I said on the podcast, we are going live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to talk about the wrestling shows on those respected days. So I'm Mark Izzo. He's Dillon O'Brien. This has been a great stream. We're going to be doing this more and more. Plus, we're going to be uploading more episodes to the YouTube. And make sure to listen to the Burning Hammer podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts. We will catch you next